Hello everyone, hope you're having a great day and I hope you have a wonderful holiday season. The current plan as far as features goes for this channel is one a year. So to fill that gap, so it's more than one feature and a few trailers in a year, I wanted to add some more content. So I've landed on some rewrites. I have a handful of channels that I subscribe to and I watch that do a number of rewrites on YouTube, but they mostly stick to Hollywood films. And I wanted to give that same kind of rewrite treatment to B movies. I absolutely enjoy B movies, and I constantly find myself on streaming services, scrolling through, digging through some good ones. So I wanted to give the rewrite treatment to B movies. So the name of the series is Hindsight Rewrites, a play off the old saying hindsight's 2020. And what I want to do with this series is put ourselves in the shoes of the production team when they were making the film and kind of work off of that as opposed to just wanting to throw random everything at the film. So kind of put ourselves in the headspace of we're on set when they're making the film, but now we have the gift of hindsight to maybe change a few things. So I put together a little list of criteria that I want to follow with these rewrites. I know a lot of the ones I watch, kind of will just add, this, that, and the other. So let's start with number 1 and 2 there, which is no new characters, no new locations. Like I said, many of the ones that I watch for rewrites, they'll add brand new locations, brand new characters. What I want to do is stick to what we see on screen or who we see on screen in the original film. That being said, I'm not against moving locations around or utilizing them differently. For example, let's say there's a scene in the movie that's originally in the hotel, and we want it to be in a parking lot instead. That's fine as long as both locations appear in the original film. And then we can kind of swap those out, move them around, mix and match. Now our next thing on the list is sort of like the no new characters, because I'm not against like moving the current characters that exist in the original film around. However, to our third point on the list here, I don't want to be adding them to a different role level. And by that I mean an extra isn't going to be bumped up to the lead or vice versa. But like if we want the leads or the supporting to kind of play a little bit different role or do some different things than what they originally did, that's something that we're going to be playing with a bit. The next 3 items go together, and that is time period, effects from that time period, and effects for the budget. So starting with time period, pretty self-explanatory. If our original movie takes place in the 70s, then the rewrite's going to be the 70s. Same for any kind of effects that we want to like rewrite in there to be applied. They have to be consistent with not just that era, but also with something equivalent budget-wise that we've seen or our best guess is for that film. So let's say, for example, we wanted to add, some effects, or write in that there was going to be some new effects. We can't be applying, let's say, MCU effects to, an asylum film. So just things like that. So our next couple items, along with the effects a little as well, aren't going to play a huge part since we're going to be doing screenshots for these rewrites, but I wanted to mention them anyway, and that is film quality and audio quality. I know that budgets and time constraints and all that kind of stuff, because I've been there, can mess with both of those things and the effects as well. So when we're talking about that, and it'll be just maybe I'll mention it when I thought in the original that could have been something they could have changed, which is like if you left an AC on, you should have turned that off, or like on the video end of things. Maybe it should have been tripod instead of handheld, or vice versa. Stuff that we know based on what we see on screen that they had as opposed to, oh, they should use like this big boom or something. Maybe they didn't have that, but tripod, handheld, it's pretty basic. They should have that. And the audio, like we're not going to try to, say they should have this super expensive recorder or anything, but turn the AC off or whatever. That brings us to our final item on the list, which is the same main story. Point A, point B. We can play around with how they get there and who gets there, even maybe in some cases. But point A, point B, the same. What we're trying to do with these rewrites is not like totally change the original movie. What we're doing is taking, with the gift of hindsight, going in there and taking the resources they had, the people they had, and just playing around with that stuff a little bit. And we might not use the exact resources they had, but like if we add something in, it's going to be consistent with what we're fairly positive that they could have gotten, whether that's a special different prop or whatever. But we want to stay with like something that, going back to the film set, could have did this, that, or the other to make it a little better. But again, at the end of the day, point A, point B, story-wise, needs to be the same. And then just like, comment, subscribe. We are building this channel from the ground up with the features and with these new series. So any of those three things would be greatly appreciated. If you're so inclined, I do have a Patreon. If not, that's fine. It is linked on the page. So go check that out if you like. And then a final note is just my son, who helps with the features, is starting his own channel that will deal with video games and some D&D as well. So he's linked in my page as well, Fluffy Gamer. So go check him out if you want some gaming or some D&D. He's just getting started, but like me, we're just gonna try to keep getting some content out to you guys when we can. So thank you, and I will see you at the rewrite.